Just 6 weeks after the final game of the 2012 season, the Gold Coast Suns are back in training. The Suns, the latest in a long list of elite sporting teams, now beginning their premiership campaigns at altitude.
Everyone watched the grand final. Dan Hanbury going back with a flight. Everyone see that?
Big time play. That's a terrible looking kick. Hard to mark. Oh, courage by Hanbury, who took a magnificent mark against Hale.
That moment, it probably started in a pre-season. I have no doubt it did. So for you, your moment's coming. So start preparing for it now.
Who took a magnificent mark against Hale.
He is so brave. I remember hearing Brett Kirk talk about Hanbury earlier in the year.
We go to Arizona, which is the southern part of the US, down near the Mexico border. And we go to a place called Flagstaff, which is 2,200 metres above the sea level. And it's really a well-renowned training facility or training area for elite athletes, particularly endurance athletes. This year we really wanted to maximise our exposure to the altitude, so to do that we wanted to make sure it had a really conditioning focus, and that was the theme. We did some football, but essentially it was all about maximising our time training at altitude and trying to accelerate their development as much as we could in that area. Right, boys, make a start. Let's fish. Do you want to tell the boys what you told Louis about my program today? Right there? You sure? No. Tell the boys. Tell them.
Louis told you that I said gloves that
He said it wasn't worth getting out of bed for, it wasn't hard enough. Good for you. I take those sort of things personally.
The aim of the camp is to test the players' physical and mental thresholds on a daily basis.
That first day we did a 2K time trial, and that day was about just setting the standard about how hard we're going to train there. Okay boys, go across the line. Go! I know Bluey likens it to trying to breathe through a straw, but I can guarantee that's what it felt like. The ability to try and get air in that you can't get in is quite a strange feeling, but it puts the body under more stress, so you learn to cope with that. So you're getting a lot of stress to your cardiovascular system, but the load on your legs is no greater than what you would be if you're doing it at sea level. We did the 2K, then we did a lot of trail running after that. And it was just a matter of showing the guys that they can do some training there, do some serious training, but it has some implications on how much it takes out of you.
Not everyone is adapting well to the thin air and heavy workload.
For people like Trent, who is not one of his strengths, having that sort of camp is a huge benefit.
Come on, Trent. Breathe, come on.
When we do sprint testing, he's clearly not our last, he's probably in our top 6. When we do endurance testing, he and like a few others aren't going to win it. Altitude and them don't mix. We have 46 players now officially on our list. Well, someone's got to finish 46th. What you hope is that the spread from 1 to 46 is, if it's that big, it needs to be this big. And so the idea for him, his pre-season's just got 10-15% harder.
Oh, yeah. He gets better, we get better. Understand that?
So I've walked down, probably walked about 30 minutes, 30-40 minutes. Beautiful, beautiful scenery.
I don't know if you call it a rite of passage or an initiation into the Gold Coast Suns culture that you get to experience during the canyon.
It's about a 25 to 27k round hike. So it's not just down and back and clap your hands and it's all over. It's a fair hike, and you're going into a crater which is probably 2 to 3k's deep. But yeah, you're still at altitude.
Secretly, every team tries to beat the next team that's done it. So I let off and we set a pretty cracking pace on the way down, but even going down does have a load on your legs in regards to every time you're racing on a downward step, it puts a huge load through your legs.
Nearly 10k down. That was not too bad.
It's been pretty good so far. Probably the next 4 or 5 hours aren't going to be too great, but wait and see.
The difficulty of the canyon experience is that it's just so long.
And there's no way out. The only way is up, and it's hard work.
4.5 hours in, really getting that burn in the glutes. Everyone's having a chat to the man inside their head, wanting to stop, but we'll just have a little break here and then we'll go for the top.
The climb back out of the canyon is especially tough on the squad's newest recruits.
How long have we been going, Clay?
5 hours. He's going pretty hard, Clay, but it's good to see Tommy's looking after him. And for a young fella, his first camp on this, he's certainly going to feel the effects of it, but he's battled on really well. Heart rate 147 for 5 hours.
Nearly there. Hopefully. Never ending. It's good though, good experience.
Feels good. Having no water for the last 2 hours climbing up here. My thighs, hamstring, glutes, all cramping. So, hopefully not too much longer.
There's a quote I love, and it's actually in our gym here at the footy club. It's an image of a champion, is that person that's bent over when no one's watching, and he's bent over dripping in sweat. In other words, he's worked as hard as he possibly can because no one's around. We get to play in front of our fans here. We get to train in a group, 46 players, coaches watching. So it's easy to get motivated. It's easy to train hard, if you like, and with great intensity. But the measure, I think, of a champion is someone that can replicate that when no one's watching. Tom Murphy and Greg Broughton, who were first-year players, but experienced players, if you like, actually helped some of our first-year players in the AFL through those moments.
You're there, mate, you did it.
That to me is just power. That's what Canyon and that's what Humphreys is all about.
For me, it was a good thing that the players saw that you completed it and struggled through it because this is being part of the Suns now.
Fins a manly ball. Put those compression garments on, mate. You'll be able to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. A few of us took off early on the way back up, and it probably got about halfway up, and then it started to really hit home. It was going to be a fair way up, so we kind of crashed and burned at the end.
It's week 2 at altitude that will really test the playing squad. The effects of training at altitude compounded by an increased workload by the Suns' high-performance team.
All right, boys. Okay, what we've got 100 yards. Okay, you see the 2 orange cones down there? Okay, we've got 8 of them. Today was planned to be quite a tough session. We really wanted to expose the guys to, say, a game load. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Pull his arm. Do something. Do something. Come on. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's go. The boys ended up doing about 16 or 17 kilometres this morning, and it was combined all football conditioning type running.
training, and last week's conditioning was pretty tough. It was up there though. It's crammed everywhere at the end of that. Oh.
We did have a little bit of a surprise element in the session.
But I know from my experience playing is that footy also produces some unexpected stuff.
Football's an unpredictable game, and even the best sports science or GPS analysis can't always predict what's going to happen or how the game's going to pan out. So you need to prepare for the unexpected.
You know, the game just keeps going and stoppage after stoppage, or you play a game in extra time and you've got to keep finding a bit extra. So today's our extra time. Okay? You guys work out who your slow runners are, make sure that they're up and you're pushing them up, and make sure we're as a group. But we need to finish it as a group, okay? Because what we're preparing for, is preparing for the unexpected that happens in games. And you know what I'm talking about, you've all been involved in games like that, where stuff just happens and it just goes and goes and goes. So that's what we're doing today.
We went for an extra run at the end of training.
Get up.
They really pushed through well and their attitudes were sensational.
Take it right. Keep going.
Yeah.
The challenge now, there are a few stiff and sore boys, which we were expecting. Now it's up to them to be able to recover well, make sure they do everything they possibly can tonight to back up for tomorrow.
Day 11, and the cactus-littered red rock formations of Sedona will leave some of the squad with a painful memento of their time in Arizona.
You guys are all basically guiding yourselves today. We've got maps, we've got compasses.
Go 20 degrees northwest onto Slimshady at next intersection.
Be down there.
Yep.
Gentlemen, I would recommend boys, Slim Shady Trail.
Thought so.
Who's reading the maps wrong?
Yeah, the mountain biking was pretty tough. It's quite a technical course that we did. Some guys really enjoyed it, others let the back just trying to survive.
Oh, there you go. Oh, on camera, Benny. What's it do, Phil? Not too good with bike, Benny.
I fell backwards into a cactus, which wasn't great. I'm still trying to pull the prickles out of my backside.
For mine, it was a good day because, one, the players did have some fun, but they also got some sort of work out of it as well. We actually decided to give them a day off after that. That wasn't scheduled because they'd worked so hard on that day, which we probably didn't plan for.
Now to fix bikes.
Phoenix Suns were playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, so it wasn't one of the great marquee NBA games, but we got a pretty special one.
The Phoenix Suns came back from a record deficit to win a game, so for the Gold Coast Suns to be there, it was a good night.
The following day, the Suns are back to work, and the climb up the icy face of Mount Humphreys on day 14 looms as the players' final challenge before making the trip back to the Gold Coast.
Last day of our camp, and I think even though we didn't have it in the schedule as Mount Humphreys, I think everyone knew it had a hike, so I think they all knew it was going to be Mount Humphreys.
The weather for the 2 weeks leading up to Humphreys was absolutely perfect, and then the storm rolled in on the Thursday or Friday night, and we ended up doing it on the Sunday. So there'd been plenty of snow. It was pretty treacherous terrain, and it's just hard work.
So we're here at Humphreys. Pretty nice day down here at the moment. It's a bit chilly, but judging by the look at the top, the wind's whipping all the snow off, so it's going to be pretty cold. But last day here at the camp, so hopefully we'll push through and finish off strong.
Pretty cold, about -8. A few dilemmas with the cars early, but on track now. Set a good pace, get up and get out.
I don't think the cold's a factor until you get to the last part of the climb, when you've got to withstand the wind and the cold. Prior to that, I think the main issue was just the snow and trying to get your feet in and out of the snow all the time. You know, a bit like walking in soft sand, I suppose.
My water's frozen through the tube, taking the nozzle off and trying to breathe in it. It's just not doing anything. I'm not loving this at all.
No doubt it would have been harder for our big guys to get up there, and they would have felt the pinch, I'd say.
Honestly, coming up here, that was physically the hardest thing I've ever done this whole camp. In the last 2 years coming here.
Like you said, the summit's like about an hour away too.
Yeah, I'm a big chance not to make it. Hardest thing I've ever done.
I only heard the reports of some of the chaos at the top.
No way.
Alright. That's alright.
Got another kilometre and a half.
Right?
Got another kilometre and a half. I'm going. There's no way.
Oh man.
Our guide, who was an elite marathon runner, thought it was unsafe to go any further, but some of the players didn't like that decision.
Heading there this year, just I said before we even got on the bus, I said I'm getting to the summit today. I don't care what happens, I'm getting there.
I don't care, mate.
So naturally, when the guide got to a similar spot to last year and decided it was too dangerous and we were going to turn back around, I wasn't real happy about it, and I decided to go at it. By myself at that stage, and then Sebi Tate came up to me and said, well, if you're going, I'm going, and we went from there.
Seriously, I would have been 15 metres behind Jack Hutchins, screaming at the top of my voice, and I think I've got a reasonably loud voice. I've developed one over the last couple of seasons, and couldn't hear me. He soldiered on, Dion Prestia soldiered on, Campbell Brown, and I was almost abused, if you like, by probably a half a dozen players.
If you're able to go, we should be able to go.
Oh, if you have a crack, man. What's the worst that can happen?
You slip. Not off the edge.
Is it that
You
steep, is it? Yeah, you trip over.
Just trip over that.
You're not going to fall down.
You trip over here anyway.
I had to hold back 6 players, almost physically on some occasions, and threaten them with not playing senior footy next year.
I can't believe I got 500 metres away and they got turned down. Lou was adamant too.
Lou's he's gonna rip my throat out if I move.
I can almost picture the clump of snow I had my hand on. I was shooing these blokes back, and I can still remember Kay half-turned looking at me, and if looks could kill, I wouldn't be here right now. He was in a nasty place.
You can't even take in the view because you're in pain.
I'm just looking at the ground in front.
Physically, he was in a reasonable shape, but mentally, yeah, he was long gone. But then, as I said, gets down, has lunch, gets on the bus, gets back. By the time he's hit the hotel, he's a brand new man, and he's a great measure of how quickly you can be confronted with those challenges, but how quickly you can dismiss them.
The wind was hitting me in the face, so I was literally just, like when you say put one foot in front of the other, I was literally just doing that because you couldn't look up.
Slow play footy, man. No, it's not it. So we pushed on and made it to the top.
Sebi and I, big hug, it was a great moment, just to have done it together, and especially him coming off his knee, it was a super effort to get up the mountain.
There was a lot of relief where you sort of got up there and I just sort of yelled out when I got up there. I was ecstatic to sort of just take in the views and sort of have a bit of a rest.
As I said, they're the moments that they're planning for. That's part of that moment. Again, it's not a footy moment, it's just a life skill moment, because they're going to need that life skill when it comes to crunch time at half time at a grand final.
You just can't roll up and think on a big occasion or a big event that you're going to be able to throw magic dust over yourself as you cross the white line, and all of a sudden you're going to be able to do these unbelievable things. You've got to train them.
Those moments get manifested in that, which help us when those moments come on field.
This is really big. It's a dead set, massive moment.